Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. We're here today to unveil this memorial. I'm not going to make a long speech. I'm sure you don't want to give a boring speech from me. So I'm going to hand you over to Kenneth down there. It's on. It's just not working.
Oh, good morning, everyone. That's working anyhow. Right. My name's Kenneth Bannerman. I'm the founder and leader of the Airfields of Britain Conservation Trust, or ABCT for short. Essentially, this charity that I founded now lead, and we've got various other colleagues here with us today. We're based in Glasgow. We are certainly Britain's and almost certainly the world's first national airfield charity. It's quite revolutionary what we're doing. And we erect commemorative memorials. It's obviously about helping people and saving airfields. So we're making a real difference to people in general. Anyway, far more importantly, we're very happy to be here today to unveil our latest memorial to Brenzett Airfield. This, like every other airfield in Britain, past and present, active and disused, is an incredibly important place. Just to give you a quick idea of its history, the airfield was first discovered during 1942, and construction work began on it at the end of that year. It was made ready by the spring of 1943. It was only used for 2 days during that year, the 14th to the 16th, when a Spitfire squadron had to come here temporarily from another advanced landing ground at King's North in Kent. Now, just to briefly explain, advanced landing grounds were specially built airfields that were created in the run-up to the D-Day invasion. They were bona fide airfields, but they consisted really only of 2 metal runways. They were very common in World War II, metal runways, a few blister hangars, a small number of huts, and that was about it really. There were various houses requisitioned in the area. For example, on the far side of Brenzett, there's a building that still stands today called Moat House, local farm. That was one of the requisitioned buildings. It then was rebuilt again during the winter of 43-44. The runways were improved, more facilities. Slightly surprisingly, it missed D-Day itself because it was being held in reserve. But then come July of 1944, this field that you would never guess was an airfield behind me suddenly became very, very active. 3 RAF squadrons, 2 of them manned by Poles, very, very brave people, came here to mount various fighter escort and defensive and offensive patrols. They were flying North American Mustangs, a very famous American fighter, very high performance aircraft. And it's incredible to think now that at any one time there were about 100 aircraft in this field just behind us. Quite striking to think that. They shot down 179 V-1 missiles, which was a tremendous achievement in itself. They also flew fighter and fighter bomber raids, not just over Normandy and France as well, but even as far away as Norway, helping out RAF Coastal Command. These 3 squadrons in the airfield played a tremendous part in the winning of World War II, right up to when they left for Andrewsfield in Essex, an airfield that's still used today, in October of 44. Shortly after that, the land was de-requisitioned in the middle of December of that year, and then no sooner had the airfield appeared than it had more or less gone. The runways were removed, primarily to be used for crude airfields over in France. The blisters and all other buildings were removed. So apart from some very distinctive cuts, gaps and hedges, and concreted culverts crossing all the many drains in this area, there's effectively really nothing to see of this airfield. I mean, this is a fantastic museum, of course, but this technically isn't part of the airfield. They are military buildings from World War II, but they, of course, relate to the Women's Land Army and all the tremendous work that everyone in that service did as well. Now, I can only just finally say as well, please do always give a thought to Britain's airfields and everyone who served at them. These places have done so much for this country in so many ways, both militarily and socially. It's quite astonishing what they've achieved. But sadly, until just very recently, both they and all the personnel who served at them, they were just not given the recognition they so richly deserved. I recognise, I'm now, dare I say it, 51. And I recognise this, as you can see in our very, very popular website. If it's of any interest, just type in ABCT or Airfields in Google, and you'll find our website very, very quickly. We've got an enormously popular website. It's actually one of the top 25,000 most popular in Britain. There's real interest in this subject. And but apart from the military aspect, these places have helped all of us in our everyday lives. Work, recreation, the emergency services, everything. Practically every aspect of our lives, even if it's indirect, you can find an airfield connection. The food we eat, the water we drink, the health services, the emergency services, you name it, there is a connection. Therefore, we just cannot afford to lose these places in any way. So I can only ask you to just do everything you humanly can to help our airfields and everyone who served at them, because after all they've done for this country and the world, it's just about time now that they need a little bit of help when in this present day, after all the efforts they've done for all of us. So now, just before we unveil the memorial, again, thanks so much for coming. And after the unveiling, we're very happy to announce that the Women's Land Army is going to hand over a photographic book to the museum. So we'll arrange that just immediately after the unveiling. Therefore, I'm absolutely delighted to say that we are now able to unveil what is now our 40th memorial. We're planning to erect at least 400 by the end of the next decade, to another of our truly remarkable places, Britain's top physical assets without a shadow of doubt, in this case, the one and only Brenzett Airfield. Thank you all very much. If you want to take photographs, whatever you'd like to do, just you're very welcome.
It gives me great pleasure to present you with this book. I've been coming here now for many, many years, and I'm very fond of it. Thank you very much for all you do anyway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doris. Thank you. Right, ladies. Sorry to have to ask you to move again. But we'll make our way around to the park here again, and then we'll have a bit of entertainment for you, and we'll sort out your lunch, okay?